On injuries, in terms of Zay Jones, Devin Lloyd, Anton Harrison, where do they sort of stand?
Zay's still kind of day to day. We're going to see how he works this week. Probably a long shot, for the game, but we'll see. He's progressing very nice. Devin's probably the one that's a little more severe with his hand. He's probably going to miss this football game. Just the nature of the injury and what's going to take place with him. So he's actually one of the players we're going to keep back here for the next 2 weeks.
He needs surgery.
Actually, he does. Yeah, had it yesterday, I believe. John, correct?
Yes.
I believe he had it surgery. Yeah, he had just a couple screws put in his thumb. Yeah.
So he'll be out for a while.
We're hoping just these weeks while we're in London, and then when we get back at the Indianapolis game. Hopefully he'll be ready. Have to probably soft cast him, something like that.
You guys were working on the London schedule and everything. Did you guys ask to make sure that there was that home game against a familiar opponent the week after?
No, just the guarantee of just having the home game. Not necessarily who it was, but just having a home game after we got back.
Any other players you plan to leave back?
Well, Devon will be one that we'll keep back. Devin. I'm trying to think. We do have like 4 or 5 guys, our IR guys. Although, Smoot, Cam, Antonio Johnson will all travel, make the trip. Cooper Hodges will make the trip. He's progressing nicely. Who else would be on that list right now? I'm just drawing a blank real quick. I think that's about it. Oh, Greg will stay here. Yeah, he's on IR. He'll stay here. Yeah. Yep.
Is Anton good to go for this week?
Anton Harrison? Yeah. He'll be out there today working. He'll be good.
How do you jumpstart the offense?
I don't think you have to do anything special. I just think we just have to focus in on the early part of the football game, right? The execution part of the game, and honestly, even last week we started out well. I mean, we just were unfortunate we didn't catch the touchdown, and then we missed field goal. So we started fast, we just didn't finish. So that's kind of the emphasis, kind of the focus. This week is just being able to get off to that faster start and trying to come away with some points.
Are you worried at all about how Calvin will respond, given that it's against his former team?
Obviously, he'll be excited, and being able to see some of his old teammates. But Calvin does a great job of just kind of focusing on Calvin and understanding his role with what we're trying to get done. And I'm looking forward to, seeing how he performs, against him.
When you look at maybe the bad practice day he had, and then maybe he puts it on himself, and then it compounds it.
I think we all have a tendency to do that. To kind of press a little bit if you have a bad day or a bad practice, coming out the next day and trying to redeem yourself a little bit. But he just my message to him has always been just be him, and just do the things that he's capable of doing.
Doug, do you buy into the notion at all that a change of scenery might help in some way?
I do. I think it's a good opportunity. It's no different like in training camp when we went up to Detroit. The guys are all in the same hotel. We're eating in the meal room, meetings. We're doing everything together. Sort of one of those bonding type experiences as a football team, as coaches, and this just happens to be over in London, and it's a great place, and we're excited to be going over and a chance for us to kind of sort of reset maybe a little bit and regroup and try to get back on track.
You've been there once with this team and once with Philadelphia. What have you learned about this experience and how to prepare a team to play under these situations?
Yeah, the biggest thing is just handling the travel, from Thursday night into Friday, and Friday's a little bit of a different day, but we don't change much of the schedule. We prepare the same. We get a lot of the work done here, Wednesday, Thursday, and and then Friday's Friday when we get there, and just trying to get them to understand how to, how to pack, how to hydrate, how to eat right, how to do all those things to take care of their bodies so that they're ready to go on game day. And the other thing too is it's a different football surface than what we're used to playing on, and making sure that they understand that having the right shoes on too. Just all those types of little things kind of prepare these guys for this game.
Things were most bleak last year at 3-7. You were the one that said you still felt like this team was going to play for the division title. That was much deeper into the season at that time. Now, is this funk, if that's the right word to use, that this team seems to be in right now, is it more concerning because this is your second year and they know your system and there's more familiarity?
I think the difference, and really I would probably say it's probably no difference, right? We put ourselves in a hole last year, 3-7, because of the things that we did to ourselves, and some of those same things are kind of creeping into our game now, in these two losses, and the guys definitely understand. I think too, we all try to press just a little bit, try to make something happen as opposed to just letting the game sort of unfold. And so we just got to get back to that. Just get back to, having a solid week of practice like we did last week, and then just, focusing on us one play at a time. What do I need to do on this particular play, and then go to the next. Short-term memory if something bad happens. Short-term memory if something good happens, and just play it one play at a time.
You said repeatedly that it's week 3. Every season is a different season. Is what we're seeing now with this team kind of an example of that? We hear it all the time. The NFL is a week-to-week league, and this is kind of an example of it. But it's still hard to kind of process the fact that this team seems to be nowhere near its potential.
Yeah, it's the hard part because our expectations a lot higher, and you expected to have outcomes differently, but it's not. It's where we are. I always tell this team too, it's not how we start, it's going to be how we finish, the season. And we're making mistakes. It's not like teams have really done much to us as far as beating us. We're beating ourselves, and that's usually the case. And once we figure out, and a lot like last year, we were kind of beating ourselves. And once we figure out how to kind of get out of our own way, take care of the football, tackle better, all those types of things, then things begin to go in your favor.
How comforting is it to have a guy like Shatley for you that you can put in multiple spots and he'll get the job done for you?
I mean, it's reassuring. You got a veteran guy there that can play a couple of spots, the guard, the center spot. He's played a lot of football, and he's a reliable guy, trustworthy guy, and somebody that you can definitely count on to be able to go in a game at any time.
This will be his 8th London game.
Yeah.
Do you rely on him for a little bit of stuff, or tell the other guys?
No, I mean, most of the guys have been over there, whether with us or with another team, and it's. I know the guys will probably visit with him, and talk to him a little bit, but I don't necessarily rely on that as much.
What sort of extra challenges does the 2-week trip to London put on the table for you guys?
Well, we're not here in our building, and making sure our video servers and things like that are for computers and film watching and tape and game breakdown the second week. We're all up and running, and we're having to move to a different hotel, but again, this is why I try to keep the week as normal as possible while we're there, for coaches and players, and just kind of getting that same routine. And it just so happens it's going to be in London, so try not to make too many changes. Just keep it business as usual for everybody.
Have you already started to think ahead to the trip back, because you have the 2 weeks there and then the home game immediately after?
Yeah, you got to prepare for that. You think more about the players, obviously, and getting their rest and getting back on, our time zone here and all of that. So, focusing on that just a little bit when we get back, and making sure that they take care of their bodies, because it's a long travel. Making sure that they're doing the right things, especially when we get back.
Back to those players, Doug, who you said you are going to bring to London if they're injured, suspended. Do you think there's a chance all 4 of those guys could play the second game? Obviously, camp suspension, Smoot on the PUP list. Could Johnson play this week, and then again the rest of them the following week?
In regards to Antonio Johnson, he'll actually, be able to do some things this week, just individual-wise, just to kind of get him back into practice a little bit, and then we can actually practice him next week, going into Buffalo and see where he's at. So there is a chance, because he's on the 53, right? So there is a chance he could make it for the Buffalo game. In Smoot's case, obviously, we want to get him, acclimated into practice. We don't have to, once we activate him, we don't have to make a decision right away. We want to see where he's at, with kind of the rigors of practice and understanding that. And then Cam, obviously, with the suspension and everything, we've got permission to carry him and take him with us this week. So this is game 4, right, of his suspension, so we can actually bring him back next week if need be, and get him acclimated into practice as well. So, all things are kind of shaping up for that, for next week, as we prepare for that.
And then Cooper Hodges.
Cooper, we're not going to rush yet. There's no need at this time, and we'll just see how he handles. Obviously the 2 weeks over there. Can't, because he's on IR, he can't necessarily practice with the team, but he can do a lot of stuff off to the side.
What's your message to the team, I guess, as far as 2 weeks over there could be distractions, going out, things like that, just to keep them focused during that time?
Curfew at night.
Is it as simple as
And, it's not as simple as that, but that's part of it. And we're further away from the city and some of the distractions there. And listen, our goal is to go over there and play 2 football games, and ultimately you try to win those 2 games. And I've got to trust the players, and they've got to do the right things. They've got to be in the right frame of mind, and I have to put it back on them, to make the right decisions and right choices. And by keeping the schedule and the routine the same, they can get in the same sort of the same habits they have here, right? And I don't worry about these guys, getting into trouble or staying out late. And yes, I do have bed check and all that, but that does help.
With
One or two more.
With Devin out, what have you seen from Chad thus far? I know he got into the game last week, so what's sort of been his progress?
Yeah, Chad's been doing really well. We wanted to make sure he continues to develop and play, and not hold him back. So getting him in the football game last week obviously was by design. Now, he gets a chance to step up and start and be in the be in the huddle full time, and lean on last year a little bit. Young player who we're excited about, and he'll do a good job.
Does how last year went with this group give you more confidence that they can turn it around this year?
Yeah, and I yes, and what I'm hearing from the guys this year, what they're saying and talking about in the locker room, around the building, it's just now that we have to go do it. We can't just keep talking about it. We just got to do it and show it.
Okay, Coach, thanks so much.